You get out of here. I don't serve veterans and dogs. What did it do wrong? It just helped me pass. If you ever thought stuff like this couldn't happen in a fancy place, let me tell you, that night at Bella Vista turned my whole world upside down, and probably every single person sitting in that restaurant, too. You know what I mean? Here's how it went down. So there I was, wheeling myself into Bella Vista, San Diego's kind of upscale Italian joint. Just me and Rex, my golden retriever, service dog, best friend, lifeline, whatever you want to call it. It was 2 years, almost to the day, since that IED in Afghanistan ripped apart the Humvee under my squad, took both my legs, scrambled my brain, and sent me back home to start life all over again. For months, I couldn't even make it out my own front door, let alone to a restaurant with tablecloths and wine glasses, but I was done hiding. That night was supposed to be a celebration, 2 years of clawing my way back, learning to laugh again, remembering I was more than just my injuries. I called ahead, made sure everything was accessible, even joked on the phone that Rex would be wearing his vest, so nobody would think he was just some mutt. The hostess, Sarah, sounded sweet, said everything was set up. I was nervous, yeah, but I had hope. Place was buzzing, couples, business folks, the usual crowd for a Thursday. I rolled up to the desk, gave my name, and Sarah, just like she promised, started leading me toward my table. That's when this guy Vincent Caruso, the manager, fancy haircut, suit, eyes that looked like they were scanning for something to complain about, comes striding out from the back, spots me and Rex, and I swear, I felt the temperature drop. "Excuse me," he says, trying to keep it polite, but you could tell he wasn't happy. He glances at my wheelchair, then at Rex, and finally at the scars on my hands like I'm a problem he needs to solve before dessert. "I'm afraid we can't accommodate your situation tonight." I try to laugh it off, thinking he must be joking, but his face said otherwise. "I have a reservation," I told him, maybe too defensive, but this wasn't the first time I'd had to explain myself. He cuts me off. "Well, we weren't informed about the animal. We have a strict no pets policy. You know that sinking feeling when you realize you're about to fight the same battle for the 1,000th time? That's what hit me. I kept it together, because that's what you do, sir. Rex isn't a pet. He's a trained service animal, protected under the ADA. Caruso's lips tightened. "Sir, I understand you may have some kind of emotional support animal, but this is a fine dining establishment. Other customers shouldn't have to deal with animals while they're trying to enjoy their meals." Sarah, bless her, piped up, "Service dog are allowed by law." Caruso didn't even look at her. "Sarah, return to your station." At that point, I noticed 4 guys at a corner table watching. I'd clocked them earlier: short hair, broad shoulders, the way they sat so they could see every exit. Military, no doubt. What I didn't know yet was they were Navy SEALs just back from a training op. They heard everything, and I guess the old code kicked in: you don't leave a brother behind, even if you've never met him. Back to Caruso, he's getting louder. People are starting to stare. "You're disrupting other customers," he says, "and I'm asking you to leave voluntarily before I have to call security." I felt my face burn. The shame, the anger, all of it. I'd come so far, and here I was being thrown out like I was nothing. "I just wanted dinner," I said, voice barely more than a whisper. "And I want you to leave. Now." That's when Lieutenant Commander Rodriguez stood up, his teammates scraping their chairs back in unison. If you've ever seen real authority enter a room, you know how everyone feels it. They walked up calm, deliberate. Rodriguez addressed Caruso. "Is there a problem here?" Caruso tried to brush him off. "Sir, this is between the restaurant and this customer. I'd appreciate it if you'd return to your table." Rodriguez ignored him, looked at me. "Staff Sergeant, what's going on?" I was surprised he called me by rank, but I explained, trying to keep it together. Rodriguez turned to Caruso. "Manager, you're violating federal law." Caruso snapped. "This is my restaurant. I decide who gets served." One of the SEALs, big guy named Thompson, stepped up. "Actually, the ADA decides. And right now, you're breaking federal law." Phones were out now, people filming, the place dead silent. Caruso, getting flustered, threatened to call the police. Rodriguez smiled. "Please do. I'd love for them to explain the law to you." Another SEAL, Martinez, knelt beside me. "What unit, brother?" "3rd Infantry Division," I said, 2 tours in Afghanistan." He nodded. "We got you back." Sarah tried again. Mr. Caruso, the law is clear. Caruso spun, threatening her job. That's when Rodriguez's voice dropped, not loud, but lethal. You just threatened to fire an employee for following federal law. That's illegal. The SEALs subtly formed a circle around Caruso, not menacing, just unyielding. I tried to back them off. I didn't want a scene. Rodriguez just looked at me. You're not causing trouble. You're exercising your rights as an American and a veteran. We're making sure they're respected. The tension was suffocating. Caruso, cornered, actually called 911, claiming he was being threatened. When the police arrived, Sergeant Wong and Officer Davis, they got the picture fast. Davis, a veteran himself, told Caruso flat out, "Sir, service dogs are protected under federal law. You cannot refuse service." Wong pointed to all the phones. This is being broadcast live. You're risking your job, your license, your freedom. Support started erupting from the tables. An elderly woman told Caruso he should be ashamed. A businessman declared he was a lawyer, and Caruso was in the wrong. Parents taught their kids about sacrifice. For the first time in forever, I felt like maybe I wasn't invisible. Caruso finally broke, told Sarah to seat me, but Rodriguez wasn't done. He stood up, addressed the whole restaurant, voice carrying the weight of every soldier who's ever been left behind. This man didn't ask for special treatment. He wanted to eat like any other American, but he was refused that dignity because his injuries and his dog didn't fit the image. Then, he nodded for me to speak. I told him 2 years ago I was blown up in Afghanistan, lost my legs, lost friends. Rex isn't a pet, he's my lifeline. Tonight, I just wanted to feel normal, to celebrate surviving. When you turned me away, I said, you told every veteran like me we don't belong. There were tears. Real, raw, honest tears. The elderly woman, she came up, put a hand on my shoulder, told me about her husband, a Marine in Vietnam, and how veterans deserve better now. Others offered jobs, dinners, respect. Suddenly, the whole place changed. What started as a moment of humiliation became this tidal wave of support. Even Caruso apologized, saying he was wrong, asked me to help him turn Bella Vista into a veteran-friendly spot, train his staff. For the first time that night, I smiled. 6 months later, Bella Vista was a model for veteran-friendly dining. I was the veteran liaison, and that one ugly night turned into something powerful: monthly dinners for veterans, staff trained in disability awareness, and word spread across the city. Rodriguez and his guys stayed in touch, and that one act of brotherhood reminded me, and everyone who watched those viral videos, that standing up for what's right can change lives, not just for one person, but for a whole community. So tell me, what would you have done in that moment? Would you have stood up? Do you think we're doing enough for those who gave everything for us? Drop your thoughts below, because honestly, this conversation is just getting started.